right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Yes, the news gets crazier, spicier, and the drama continues as we just predicted in yesterday's video, with new organizations looking to follow up NRG. More than likely, we have those for you today, not confirmed, and of course everything is still a rumor until it comes out officially, but these are still somewhat trustworthy sources. So far they've been right. I think about 2 out of 3 things have come out, and they've all been correct so far. So we'll see how it keeps going and see if the cookie keeps crumbling this way. But it is some worrisome news, some drama, roster updates, roster potentially updating, and then also coaching staff updates as well. So if you guys want to set the day all things Apex Legends esports related, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all of that stuff. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this. First thing I wanted to make mention, Madness, just after NRG released their news about leaving the scene, basically said after getting this news that NRG is going to be leaving, Wildcard also did the same thing because of the lack of revenue share. So the NRG news hits home for him. He said he also lost an org offer from Dignitas, which hadn't really been that big into the Apex scene until I guess they were trying to get into it after Split 1 playoffs and all of that stuff. But he said solely because EA would not create a fair ecosystem. It's so sad seeing the same situation repeat itself because of greed. Chrono also said these are becoming national treasures at this point. These were like banner frames that was supposed to be added into the game at one point. You can see G2, NRG, Team Liquid, Cloud9. What's funny is all 4. Now I see why I posted it. All 4 of these teams are not even in the scene anymore. So it's really unfortunate to see these things move along, and how NRG and how basically G2, Liquid, SSG, Space Station, Cloud9, I just said SSG twice, but it's crazy how all these guys just were not getting treated fairly. Now, what is a little bit weird is that there was an actual guy from Luminosity whose name was Alex, and he basically said that he feels like Apex is just fine, that nothing's wrong really at all. He said, I guess I'll give the opposite take here, and that is basically on the timeline right now, is that they are extremely happy with EA and Respawn's communication and offerings thus far. Luminosity is 100% committed to remaining in the ALGS Year 4 and hopefully more. Now, we did get confirmation that other teams were looking to stay in the org and stay in the whole ALGS situation as well, but simply we're still not happy with the way EA was treating it. So I don't really know if Alex is saying that he's completely happy with, well, no, he said he's completely happy, but I mean, I don't think that there's a correlation of just being happy and coming to ALGS, because there are teams that are coming to ALGS Year 4 and still unhappy. So I don't really know what correlation or what Bridge was trying to be gapped with that, but it is weird. Like, I'm just looking at this and saying, how could you possibly be happy with that? I mean, these other organizations know how to operate and know what is fair for them, and so for all 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, of them to be upset equally at the same time about the same thing, who do you just say that this one guy is right over the 6 other ones that we can trust as well? Or is there another conversation to be had? And honestly, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I think Alex is onto something. We have got to talk about the insane salaries that these players are getting. And I understand the players are good. They need to be treated well. I'm not saying that. Okay, take care of your players. Yes. But I do think that the expectation for esports in general, the player salaries are so high, it's not profitable. And if we're going to keep this thing going for a long time, we've got to reel it back into reality to say, look, yes, we understand how much you're worth. We understand how much you bring to our organization, but literally there is no way in the world we can afford to do this and stay profitable. Now, could they be profitable in some way if EA were to work with them like they probably should? I'm sure they could. But you also need to say, look, man, I mean, every esport is having this issue. Even in the franchise league, there's a lot of organizations like Call of Duty, like Seattle Surge and Paris Legion or Vegas Legion. A lot of these teams are struggling even in a scene where they have their own skins, where they have revenue share and all that stuff. I'm not saying that if you brought in Riot Games that they wouldn't fix this right now. I'm sure Riot could do this a lot better than EA could. But I do think that maybe these organizations are a little in over their head with some of these player salaries, and we do need to talk about them because I think it's going to hurt a lot of these organizations in the long run as well. Now, like I said, there were some other teams that are confirmed to come back in ALGS Year 4. So basically, I tweeted this out yesterday because I heard from many sources that not only would NRG be leaving, but other teams would be leaving as well. The names that I heard were basic, and these were obvious. I mean, it really didn't take a rocket scientist to pull this one out. FaZe is obviously having financial issues. We already knew that. CEO like getting fired the other day or whatever, and like new guy coming in, and they said they were wasting all this money. And FaZe is like losing money in so many categories. Nobody would be surprised if FaZe left. And I did hear that was one of the teams that could possibly be leaving. 100 Thieves is no surprise, right? I mean, like, not to say that 100 Thieves would want to get out, but they did say that even the year that they won the world championship for Call of Duty, I think they still lost money. Like, they still went negative. It's really hard to be profitable for a lot of these guys. And for 100 Thieves to get 40th place and then have their content creator team get 4th place or 5th place, whatever, it would not be a surprise if they made a roster change or if they even decided to pull out of the scene. So I think people were kind of expecting these two. So you could have honestly just made up a guess here and that could have worked out. But it still was rumored by other sources as well that they had heard that this could be changing as well. And I heard that from many. Now, there were some guarantees now, more than likely, that rostermania, yes, from someone who leaks, would be silly. And it has been silly. But he also confirmed in another tweet saying that it would not be them leaving. So Oxygen has confirmed to be back in year 4, so they say, and they are basically going to continue their reign. You can see Oxygen is not tapping out for the race in year 4, so that's good to see, and you love to see that. Now, also someone's worried about Moist Esports. I don't think Moist would be looking to leave either, if I'm being honest with you. I think Moist will be staying around for the long run. However, there is a team you gotta make an update on, and that is Elevate. This is Zach Mazur's team. But Enoch, on the other hand, will not be coming back, it seems. He said he's made the decision to no longer coach for EA ALGS team. During this offseason, I've gotten into more on one-on-one coaching for both Apex, social media, and mindset. The mindset coaching has been the most fulfilling work I've done, and I want to devote more time to it. Helping people shift their perceptions in life and see a real change is something that I really want to do for the rest of my life. Between individual coaching and content, I don't have the time to commit to coaching the boys at the level that they deserve. And if I expect my players to commit 100% and put the team first, I can't stay in the same role and not do it in myself. So we'll still be involved with the team, just not nearly as involved as I once was. Definitely a lot learned through this experience and looking forward to what is in my future. We'll be rooting for EA as well as the dojo moving forward. But basically, I expect both teams to have an impressive year 4. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, Enoch was, on one of these teams like Elevate, and, that were a big part of this whole, pro league scene in North America. Furia was up there, Meat Lovers up there. So all these guys are like really on the cusp of just absolute greatness. And of course, that did not work out in the end for them, sadly, but we'll see where he goes on from here. Also want to mention, just as we wrap the video up, a potential change that could happen to DarkZero. And I say potential because this is nothing but a rumor. I've heard it from multiple sources as well. There's been a lot of names, not even just multiple sources, but multiple different stories and versions of this. So, I heard they could be making this change. I heard they want this player. I heard they want that player. There's so many names out there. And I think some of it is bait, actually. What I heard was like all over the place. And I was able to kind of depict, I think that's bait. I think that's not bait. And then I heard from other people as well, multiple other people, some other stories. So it's just literally, stories are everywhere right now. Basically, though, what seems to be a repeating pattern is that it is possible, it's not guaranteed, but it is possible, okay, that DarkZero could potentially, and I emphasize that because I'm so sick of people saying, oh, pro player looked at your post and he disagrees, whatever, or he thinks it's bait. It could happen. It's not happening. Don't take this to the bank yet. I'm trying to emphasize that, but it is possible DarkZero could all three go their separate ways. All three move on to another roster, and from the stories that we're hearing, it could happen in multiple regions, which would mean that DarkZero, as we know it now, might not all even face each other in the North American Pro League, even though they are a North American team right now. One of these players could potentially go back to a different region. The other player could stay in North America. The other player could also stay in North America, I'm pretty sure. Well, there's one we're pretty sure is going to stay in North America. The other ones, we don't really know, but they might all three go their separate ways. If the stories are true and the rumors are true, we'll have to see what takes place in the coming days. And if you guys want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related, you can do it right here by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and until the next time, folks, we will see you all later, Gators.